Knowsley Safari Park near Prescott, Liverpool. It's early morning on the 4th of November 1978. 400 acres of Lord Derby's historic estate have been developed by circus man Jimmy Chipperfield into one of the country's best-known wild game reserves. Each year it attracts thousands of visitors, but as far as rally drivers are concerned, it has one big attraction, a circuit of more than 5 miles. The animals were not an extra hazard. They were locked safely away, for a different roar was to fill the park today, the day of the first Knowsley Safari Rally. All the scrutineering had taken place on the previous evening and for 2 hours in the morning. 9 o'clock and the competitors are off, cars surging away from the starting line at 1-minute intervals. This first stage of the day's events consisted of 2 laps around the park.
That hideout will be sorted out in due course. Follow the fire.
Although not competing in the rally itself, leading the cars around the stages was car number 00, driven by John Taylor in the Andrews Heat for Hire Escort 1300. At the rear of the circuit is the lion enclosure, where, on a normal day, about 20 of the beasts can be seen prowling their domain. But today they are securely behind bars, while all the safety gates have been left open for the rally. The only thing to beware are the competitors, as they slip and slide over the pebbles and stones of some of the trickiest road in the circuit. After completing 2 laps of the circuit, the next job was to negotiate a hairpin bend and follow the track past the reservoir to the finishing post. For the first stage, the starting point was in the shadow of the Elephant House. To ensure there was nothing elephantine about the getaway, officials checked timings with a quartz crystal digital chronograph. This corner proved quite a handful for car 62. Successfully negotiated, this section could save valuable seconds on a driver's time. Some, like car 62, found the corner just as much trouble second time around. Throughout the day, watching the competition and keeping half an eye on the animal enclosures were some of the safari park staff. Meanwhile, over near the monkey enclosure, drivers' skills were being rigorously tested around the chicanes on gravel. Incidentally, the monkey enclosure was the only animal compound in the safari area not to be used in the rally stage. If there were any doubts about the toughness of the circuit, they were soon dispelled when a number of cars were forced to retire before finishing the first lap. After each stage, its white flag signalling its purpose, the course-clearing car made its own way around the circuit. The original plan for the rally had been to alter the direction of the circuit with each stage. But when that became too time-consuming, after the first stage, the organisers settled on the anti-clockwise route for the rest of the competition. The start of the circuit was now at the short stretch of lane near the reservoir. Yeah, do that. Well, how much luck? Only 4 stages of the rally were run at Knowsley. Other stages were held at Aintree, a disused section of Burton Wood Aerodrome, a site in Garswood, and a disused railway track at Down Holland. The stage at Aintree included a section where a 2-litre Escort had previously smashed into a wall. Luckily, it had escaped with damaged headlights. One of the most testing stages at Aintree was this run, a treacherous mixture of tarmac and loose stones. As more than one competitor found, negotiating the 180-degree hairpin onto the rough was where driving skill had to be at its peak. Slipping, sliding and skidding into the bend, competitors rounded the corner and swept through the gate with varying degrees of success. For some, passing through the gates was real touch and go.
That was a good one.
What kind of tyres to use? That was one of the big talking points as drivers and supporters broke for lunch. The break was also the opportunity to catch up with some more repair work, including a spot of gas welding. Back at Knowsley, as the afternoon wore on, the light was beginning to fade. Even with headlights on, the prospect of tackling Knowsley's numerous blind brows in the wet was not something drivers relished. But they kept going. As the November light faded away, the last 2 stages of the Knowsley rally were completed in darkness. Despite the conditions, most of those left in these later stages finished the course without serious incident. But not everyone was so lucky. The driver of a Mini misjudged a bend and came off the track. But as marshals arrived on the scene, the crew walked away unhurt.
Yeah, there's one at the side then.
With officials checking final times, the last of the competitors came in under darkness at about 7:30. By that time, of the 120 starters, only 70 or so cars were left in the rally. When all finishing times had been gathered, it was down to work for the results team, adding up the cumulative times for all the stages. Much in evidence was that indispensable modern aid, the calculator. The day's long list of results went up on the window of the rally control centre. After a short break, during which the final positions were calculated, Joint Clerk of the course, Gordon MacDonald, announced the results. The prizes were presented by Mr. L.A. Tennant, the manager of the Safari Park. The overall winners were Jeff Fielding and Tony Goulding in car number 1, an RS 1800 Escort. The prize was the Knowsley Safari Park Trophy. Fielding and Goulding covered the 60 stage miles in just over 68 minutes. Second overall were Tony Worswick and S. Newman in another RS 1800, car number 7. Their prize was the Esso Challenge Trophy. In third place were P. Thompson and W. Ainsworth in car number 3, a Chrysler Sunbeam. Their award was the Blackpool Motorist Supermarket Trophy.
14. Charlie Penn, Hugh Edwards.
And there were plenty of prizes in all the other classes. There was also an award for the fastest car driven by a mixed crew, which went to T. Taylor and Miss M. Shepherd in car 114, the Sunbeam Stiletto. With the day's rallying over, the course secretary Sharon Lawson at last had a chance to relax. The Andrews Heat for Hire trophy for the best novices was presented by Mr. Donald Turner, the managing director of Andrews Industrial Equipment. The winners were R. Dean and T. Morgan in car 110, an Escort Mexico. Mr. James Berry of James Berry Garages presented his trophy for the best team driving British Leyland cars, which was won by B. Machin and P. Hardy in a Dolomite Sprint. Although there were minor criticisms about the running of the rally, the project was generally well received, and the indications are that Knowsley could well be the venue for many other rally events, a possibility that should please those drivers who've already tried it out. So, an exciting and successful day, though there were some who found it a bit of a bore.